with that, I think let's go to the question. The first
Let's
question.
go to questions.
Okay, Jocko.
First question.
Do you work out every day?
Okay, yeah, this is a question that a bunch of people were asking me. And I thought it was pretty evident that I do work out every day, which I do. Mm-hmm. And then I also thought that there was a little misleading statement in the Success Magazine article. Yeah. And again, I don't know what I said on some of these questions or how I answered it at the time or what I explained or how well I explained it, but there was a misleading statement that on this particular day, I had already lifted in the morning at 04:30, and now I was lifting again at 9 or whatever time it was. And then I was going to lift again. It was like made it seem like I was lifting just over and over again throughout the day, which generally I don't do. Yeah. Generally, when I wake up in the morning, I lift. And by lift, I mean workout. And by workout, that might mean lift. It might mean do calisthenics. It might mean, sometimes it just means stretching, right? But rarely do I totally stretch. But like yesterday, I was feeling a little under the weather for 2 days. Wasn't full on sick. Some of my family members got sick. They were really sick. And when it hit me, it didn't hit me as hard. Because I, fought against the illness. Sure. So I was a little bit sick, but one day I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in and stretch. The next day, it was like leg day, I was going to go do squats. And I did squats, but if anybody was to come and witness that workout, I would have to be ashamed of myself because all I did was basically go in there, go through the motion, put a little weight on the bar, move.
That's how.
But yes, I do. I work out so even when I'm sick, I'm going to work out, right? I'm going to work out. And I'm going to do something because I think it's healthy to do something. Now, another question that people say is like, do you lift and do jiu-jitsu in the same day? Yes, absolutely. All the time. Almost daily. Another branch question to that one is, do you lift before jiu-jitsu or after jiu-jitsu? I like to lift before jiu-jitsu. I want to go into jiu-jitsu a little bit tired. As a matter of fact, some of the young guns at the gym, they'll say, oh, I'll go in to roll with them at night, and the young guns will say, oh, I already worked out. I already worked out today. I'm not all fresh. And I always say, well, you think I'm fresh? What do you think I've been doing all day? Son. So yeah, I like to work out before I do jiu-jitsu, and I like to surf if there's good waves or even marginal waves, get a little surf session in. And if I can I don't like to use the word cardio, but I'll use it. It's nice to go for a little run, a little jog. So that's sort of like my grand slam of a day.
Oh, the 3?
No, 4.
4, yeah.
4.
Oh, sure.
If I work out, lift, calisthenics or whatever, then do some kind of again, I'll use the word cardio, go for a run, go for a jog, go for a swim, surf. That's awesome. And then you throw the jiu-jitsu on top of it. That's a grand slam for me. I love those days. And those are the days you go to sleep at night, Those are the days you go to bed and you feel tired.
Yeah.
That's one of the things in the book that's coming out, the field manual, Discipline Equals Freedom field manual. I talk about sleep. And one of the things I talk about is, people are saying, how do you fall asleep at night? Because a lot of people, everyone has trouble getting up in the morning. But then when you start saying, okay, well, I'm going to go to bed earlier, people have trouble falling asleep too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people, even me. So what do you do to fall asleep earlier? I got a couple steps in the field manual. One of the steps in the field manual is be more tired.
Yeah.
How do you be more tired? You work out harder during the day. You drain yourself physically and mentally during the day. That way when you go to bed at night, you will fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I got the whole thing laid out in there, but that's one of them. One other note. So that's it. Do I work out every day? Yes. Do something every day. Do something.
Yeah.
Do something. Even if all you have is 10 minutes, do 100 burpees. Just do 100 burpees. Just at a minimum, make that happen. But also, if you're sick, do what you can. Get a little sweat going. If you're injured, do what you can. If you're sick, caveat, that doesn't mean go train jiu-jitsu. Because if you're sick, you make everybody else sick at jiu-jitsu. And that's not cool. So if you're that kind of sick, don't do it.
Yeah.
But other than that, yes, I work out every day. I try and train every day. I would stay active.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
It's going to be hard, though, to try to mask your routine onto someone else. You know, like you can't just go into, let's say I'm a guy, I work out once a day, and it's like just let's say it's a strenuous workout. Not super strenuous, not like hard. I can't just be like, hey, Jocko works out 4 times a day on his good day, so let me start doing that. Like, you can not only get hurt, but it won't work for you.
Yeah, and that's another misconception, is that every single day that I work out, I'm going level 29 self-destruction.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It doesn't... You can't do it. You just can't do it. I mean, it's not like you can't do it because it'll hurt you. You just can't do it.
Right.
You know, you do squats heavy one day, or you go through 3 or 4 days of going really hard. The 5th, 6th day, one of those days, you're going to be like, okay, I need to back off today, whatever day it is. So you do some kind of workout. I'll still get it on, but I'm not going to go level 29, self-destruction. When I was going to boot camp, there was they would say there was a room attached to the main hall, the main barracks where everyone was, this open bay barracks. And if you got in trouble for something, they'd send you to this side room and they'd say, go in there and self-destruct, which meant you did, and they had a list of exercises, and it was, jumping jacks, push-ups, sit up, just a bunch of random calisthenics.
What, when they'd send you and they'd give you that?
It was already I think it was posted.
Yeah.
And then you went in there and you did 1 of every exercise, then 2 of every exercise, then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. And one of my buddies who ended up being a SEAL, who's a great dude, who I went to boot camp with, he is the only guy I went to Navy boot camp with, and we both ended up in the SEAL teams. But the chief that was running it was like, whatever, his seaman apprentice. He goes, get in there and self-destruct. And this guy was a wrestler, a college wrestler, legit college wrestler, great dude. And he went in there, and normally people are done by whatever, 5 or 6 repetitions or maybe 8 repetitions. He was in there for like an hour, and he came out just dripping with sweat.
Yeah.
It was, I knew he was in there getting after it for sure.
Yeah, the wrestler version of self-destruct is different.
Yeah, it's different than some guy from wherever that's
a non-wrestler.
A non-wrestler. Yes,
that's so true.
Put quite simply, yes.
Dang, so they just kind of leave it to you.
Yeah.
To self-destruct.
Yeah.
Dang, so
and that's right. That's what it was. He was the master at arms in my boot camp, which I don't even remember.
Who, the wrestler guy?
The wrestler guy. He was the master at arms. We were both from New England too. And so we had driven the flown down there to Florida on the same plane. And of course, we were both kind of, what are you going in the Navy for? I want to be a SEAL. What are you going for? I want to be a SEAL too. So we kind of had a little bit of, okay, well, at least this guy's kind of getting after it in some way. Yeah. And honestly, he was a college wrestler. I was probably like a little punk to him because he's thinking, what is this? I was just a high school kid non-wrestler going, I want to be a Navy SEAL. And so anyways, he was the master at arms. That's what he was like, master at arms, get in that room and self-destruct. So that was a good time. So no, I do not self-destruct on a daily basis, but I do get it on every day and definitely push myself on a regular basis.
Yeah. And that's obviously going to depend on what you, like, what is the results? Because you're not at a point where you're like, hey, I need to really get in shape. I need to lose 25 pounds or something.
I'm not saying that. You know what is interesting, though, is the days where I'm getting the Grand Slam going, when I get to jiu-jitsu, I feel good.
Yeah.
I train way better when I'm in the zone, when I've been working out, when I've had a good workout, I've surfed. I show up to jiu-jitsu, I feel great. I'll feel tired, but I feel better.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like your second round of rolling or
if
something. If for
whatever reason I don't get a workout in the morning, or I only get a really short workout in the morning, and then I go train jiu-jitsu, I never feel optimal.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I have a personal superstition / curse in my own head that if I don't work out in the morning, I am going to get injured.
No
So that forces me to work out even when I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because I say, well, I'm going to train tonight. I don't want to get injured. Because there's been, I think, 2 injuries that I've gotten from jiu-jitsu both of them happened when I didn't work out in the morning. I'm not kidding. Yeah. One of them, I didn't work out in the morning, and I showed up and went to train, and one of them hurt my ankle really bad, like a high ankle sprain, and that was bad. But I didn't work out in the morning.
That must have been it.
And I think apparently
had to.
And I think the other one was a knee injury. No, it wasn't a knee injury. All right. I think it was a shoulder injury. Anyways, whatever it was, also that day, didn't work out in the morning for some pathetic reason, Yeah. Didn't work out. So, for me, workout, it's mental prep, it's physical prep, get you ready for the evening, the jiu-jitsu.
I think that's called availability bias. When you you draw that conclusion, in your specific case, it's like, it stands out in your mind on this emotional level, so it's like, you accept it. It
really happened, though. So never mind your cognitive biases. No. I'm telling you what happened.
I understand what happened, but you have to consider all the times in your whole jiu-jitsu career that you didn't work out.
That's what I'm saying.
That was the only two.
It's such a small number. Mm-hmm. It's such a small number. I bet you there's 10 times in the past 10 years that I didn't work out in the morning. And I trained jiu-jitsu that night.
Yeah, 2 out of 10. That's bad odds.
Yeah,
you can't conclude that.
And that's probably pretty generous. It might be like 5, because sometimes I'm on the road, and then I didn't work out, but I didn't train jiu-jitsu. But for me to be here in my hometown with access to my garage gym and the jiu-jitsu, for me to just say, "Oh, I'm just not going to work out today," I don't say that.
Right. It's not very common.
No.
Yeah. I would say if it was a muscle strain or tear or something like this, I would say that would maybe make it a little different because you're stiffer,
Yeah.
But then again, ankle too. If you're super warm, you can stretch your ankles and shoulders a lot. So I don't know. Hey, maybe you might be right. I could have it completely wrong.
Certainly sounds like I'm right.
But statistically,
I think I win statistically too.
No, statistically, let's say it's inconclusive.
Okay, so 20% is not conclusive to you? Okay.
No, it's not.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll keep working out.
Given the quantity, you'd have to do it over time. And then if there's a discernible 20%, then you could start to conclude, okay,
it's
I'm 20%.
10 years I'm talking about. That's
20%
overtime.
more likely.
Okay, well, that's fair. We can make that a statement right now.
Oh, yeah, as of right now,
likely.
Statistically, you're 20% more likely to get hurt if you don't
Which is pretty big.
work out.
Yes.
Yeah, those aren't good odds at all.
I know.
I'm working out every day now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I used to do that. But I would go hard workout, then go jiu-jitsu. But same thing, though. Yeah. I think it's mental. Unless you're doing it 7 days a week for, a few weeks, then you can start to feel like, hey, or your nutrition is bad, or I don't know, something. It's to go.
But you feel better.
Roll,
you feel better.
Sometimes, not all the time, though. Sometimes I'll feel better if I don't work out. But so I wouldn't say that necessarily in my case, but I think it is more mental. In jiu-jitsu, I think it's natural to put pressure on yourself to perform in jiu-jitsu training, because I think it's part of it. When I go in, I'm going to roll against you. I'm going to try to do good against you. I'm not going to, every single time, I'm not going to go in and be like, let's just see what I learned today. Let me work on my weaknesses and try to learn. And
you're going to try and win.
I'm try to win. And there's that element, I think, most of the time for most people.
Right.
So mentally we'll play these games or we'll kind of psych ourselves out like, shit, I'm not at my best because I'm kind of tired from working out. So I won't be able to perform. Now the pressure's on. Maybe I'm going to roll with a guy who's my level. Maybe my instructor's going to see me roll with him. I'm not going to do as good as I normally do. He'll think I'm not as good as I really am. It's like
so you're saying there's mental pressure when you're at the jiu-jitsu.
That's why people will say, oh, I worked out today. Oh. I don't want you to judge my performance necessarily.
It's a pre-roll excuse.
In a way, yes.
Yeah, I don't give that excuse.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Because it would be a lie, too.
Yeah.
Because I would actually go and say, hey, I didn't work out today, therefore my game is going to be weak. Right. That's what I would have to say, but I wouldn't say
That's
that
not
either.
the case for you most of the time. Yeah, and it's pretty rare, I think. I mean, in my experience, it's pretty rare that I'll work out, even a hard workout, in the morning and then go roll at night and then it affects me. I feel tired. It's pretty rare.
No. Now, I will get so sore sometimes, if you do squats or you do a hardcore kettlebell workout, I'll be sore. And it takes a few minutes to get that soreness out of the body once you're on the mats. And sometimes somebody will be doing some movement that's grinding on the quads, and it hurts. It makes you ziggy a little bit.
Sure.
So I was jumping. I was parachuting. I had like hardly. This is like when I was in the SEAL teams.
Oh, okay. Not like this morning.
I was parachuting, and I didn't have that many jumps. Right. I wasn't an experienced free fall parachutist at this time, and the guy we were going jumping with was an extremely experienced, highly experienced, thousands and thousands of parachute jumps, and he took a crew of us, and we were all pretty much new jumpers. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, and so we go up, and there's a ceiling, meaning that the clouds are low, and so we can't get to full altitude. And so he goes, "Hey guys, we can't get up to altitude. We're in the aircraft." This is almost, this is one of those cheesy, like a movie type scene where we're in the aircraft and he's kind of yelling like what's going on to us.
Yeah, like I'm Point Break.
We're all new guys, and this guy was a Master Chief, and he's like, "Hey guys, we can't get up to altitude. We're gonna just do a hop and pop at $3,000 or something like that." Meaning we're just gonna go at a very low altitude, just gonna jump out and pop our parachutes. And I'm sitting there. I've never even done a hop and pop before. I barely knew how to get stable coming out of an aircraft. The way we used to go through free fall school, it was like a rapid evolution where if you did correct on one jump, they moved to the next one. And I did my jumps correctly, so I didn't have a lot of jumps. So then we get this guy saying, and I only jumped at 13,000 feet before this. So you have all kinds of time if you mess up on your exit, which if you don't know, when you jump out of an aircraft, when you're inexperienced, you can get spun around. As a matter of fact, Andy Stumpf talked about how he started spinning out of control, and it happens. Well, when you're at 13,000 feet, you start spinning. It's okay. You find your body position. You get stable. We called it flat, dumb, and happy, meaning you're falling flat and everything is stable and good, and then you can pull your parachute, and it's fine. Well, at 3,000 feet, you don't have time to do any of that. So when you come out, you basically have to come out and immediately adapt to the airstream of the aircraft, and you have to get yourself stable, and then you need to pull really quickly. And so I'm kind of thinking to myself, I have no idea how to do this. And I've known that I've messed up a bunch of exits, and I knew that I've gotten unstable a bunch of times jumping out, and I'd just find my time and get stable and it'd be cool. So anyways, this Master Chief's like, "Hey guys, we can't get to altitude. We're just going to do a hop and pop at 3,000 feet. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a limited chance that I'm going to make this exit properly. And I think I said something along the lines of like, hey, Master Chief, I've never done a hop and pop before. Because we're yelling in an aircraft, you can't hear anything. I'm like, hey, I've never done a hop and pop before. Look, what's any pointers? And it was me and all my buddies. None of us had done it before. And he goes, yeah, it's no big deal. You just go out, just count to 3 and pull. And I go, Roger that. And then he goes, just don't ziggy the exit. That's what he says. Just don't ziggy the exit, meaning don't have a bad exit. Yeah. Which, like at this point, like I said, I was probably batting 50% bad exits because I just didn't know what I was doing. So, of course, what did I do? Okay, fine. I'll just jump. If I ziggy the exit and die, cool. So be life. It. But at least I tried to hit it. So don't ziggy the exit.
So what happened?
Oh, so I went out. I didn't ziggy the exit. Actually, that's when the pressure's on. You rise.
Some
you
people.
Rise. You hope to rise. I always feel better. It's like surfing without a leash. You know what a leash is, right? Do you know? I mean, you're from Hawaii. You know what a leash is?
Yes, I know what a leash. Thank you.
Some people wear a leash. Some people don't. When I wear a leash, which I don't like to, you feel you can make mistakes, and there's no price to be paid because all you do is you fall and your board's right there with you. When you don't have a rope on or a leash on, when you fall, your board is gone. You have to swim for it. It's a pain. Yeah. It can hit people. It's hazardous. It's dangerous. All these things. Yeah. When I surf with a leash on, I surf like crap. When I surf with no rope, which I prefer, I surf better because if you ziggy that drop in, your board's gone. You're gonna hurt somebody. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
And I'll tell you, my son the other day, there was big waves, and I mean not big waves from a Hawaiian standpoint, but San Diego big waves, and he's just on a longboard, no rope, just dropping in on bombs. And I was pretty impressed. Yeah. And actually, especially because I have a little bit of a tweaked shoulder right now, so I was wearing a leash because I can't quite grip my board as much as I need to.
Oh, right. When it goes
And
down.
so I'm sitting out there wearing a leash, and he's out there no rope getting after it. I was like, okay, that's cool. Impressive.
Yeah,
Impressive,
not
young
everyone's
man.
like that, though.
Not everyone's, that they rise the pressure?
Yeah, like even in your case, it seems like you prefer the pressure.
I prefer the pressure. I prefer the pressure. It feels better. Like when
Yeah.
you drop in on a wave and there's no penalty for making a mistake, there's just less reward, right? You want more reward.
Yeah, I dig it.
It's like rolling with people that you're better than. You don't want to roll with people that you're just way better than. There's no reward to it. You want to feel a challenge.
Right.
Yeah. At least I do.
Yeah, and that makes sense, but I guess it's like the standard is different with you. Because, like, let's face it, I was a sponger back in the day.
For those of you that don't know, back in the day, Echo was riding a boogie board.
Boogie board.
Big
Body,
time.
we call it bodyboarding.
Yeah.
Anyway, same thing. Leash, no leash. But if you're shredding big waves, right, you want that leash. Because some people... I was one of those people where if you don't have a leash, it's like, okay, I'm thinking about that a little bit now. It's on my mind. Rather than you don't have to think about that. I can just think about, this wave.
Shredding.
I can just think about shredding. Yeah. So you have that situation. But yours is a perfect analogy with with jiu-jitsu guys. Like, let's say, you're a black belt and, whatever. You get matched up with a white belt. Boom, timer goes off. And then let's say it's a white belt that you've rolled with before. So you not only do you expect to be better than him,
you actually
with
know
good
it,
reason.
factually.
You know it, yeah. And there's no payoff. So yeah, your body is straight up has essentially no motivation, no incentive to quote unquote perform. Same thing.
Yeah.
But I think with these types of things like surf, it's just a different standard though. Some people, in your case, apparently, you feel that in surfing with the leash. But I think some people that at the same time, it's like wearing a mouthpiece too.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh yeah, but
it's not smart.
What? Not wearing a
Sparring
mouthpiece?
without a mouthpiece.
But
no, I mean, not jiu-jitsu, but if you start stand-up, yeah, it's like boxing or kickboxing without a mouthpiece in, that's not smart.
Yeah.
Which I've done a ton of, stupidly.
Yeah, but think of that mindset there where it's like, yeah, I won't wear a mouthpiece. That way, when someone hits me, the cost is greater, So it'll add some pressure to me, kind of thing.
Dental damage.
Safety.
Dental damage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as opposed to
the face.
losing your boogie board to
the
shore where you got to swim a little bit more. But yeah, man, same deal.
Check. All right.